Okay, we're gonna call this meeting to order, Thursday, 6 p.m. First item, can everybody please stand?
Microphone, please.
Ready? Begin. Okay, next item we have, are there any changes to the agenda?
There's not any changes that are taking place effective tonight, but there was one change made after the agenda was initially published. There was a typo in a resolution number, and so resolution number 4147 has been corrected with the right resolution number.
If it pleases the council, would anyone object to tabling item 6.2 until we get more applicants?
Because you're going to vote to approve the agenda, so if you want to approve it with, if that's the only change,
Just include it.
Okay.
approve it subject to that change.
Okay, can do that. So however it's motion, just put with the changes to the agenda. Okay, we have a motion to approve?
I'll motion to approve the agenda with the changes of tabling item 6.2. I'll second it.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Vosberg,
Aye?
Mayor Pro Tem Ramirez,
Aye.
Councilman Hedgecock,
Aye.
Councilman Atkinson,
Aye.
Mayor Horn.
And I vote aye. Okay, next item is awards, presentations, appointments, and proclamations. We have none. The next one is citizens' comments. This section of the agenda allows members of the public to address the city council on any item within the jurisdiction of the council. Members of the public, when recognized by the mayor, should come forward to the lectern, identify themselves, and use the microphone. Comments are normally limited to 3 minutes in accordance with state open meeting laws. No action will be taken tonight by the city council, and all items will be referred to staff for a follow-up and a report. Citizens' comments must be submitted in writing to the city clerk by 5 p.m. on the day of the city council meeting. Shall be distributed to the city council and included in the record. However, they will not be read. Okay. Would anybody like to come up and speak?
Good evening, I'm Hilda Crawford, and I'm here with one question, but also to remind everybody that the library is still having our In-N-Out Burger little event. If your age is from 4 to 12, you can come in, sign up to read books. For each 5 books you read, you'll get a little card for cheeseburger or a hamburger, so that's a total of 15 books. Just as a reminder, if you have any little ones that you'd like to come in, you're more than welcome to. The library is open Monday through Saturday, Monday through Thursday, it's from 9 to 7. Fridays and Saturdays, it's 9 to 5. Okay. And my concern is just out of curiosity, I know it's not on the agenda, but has the city have a plan for the flooding in case, with everything that's going on and all the bridges that are washing out? And we have, what, 3 entryways? I heard last time it was 6, but we have 3 that ways to get into town, and we have, let me see if I can, we have Los Gatos Creek, and then we have Worthing Creek. So Worthing Creek's 33, and so is Los Gatos Creek, and 198. But if those 2 bridges were to collapse, flooding due to the flooding and wash away, how would anybody get into town? I know that you could probably come in and go on Gale and come around that entrance, but if that bridge or little creek is washed the road out, has anybody thought of or have a plan or anything? Like, we should have an earthquake one as well, but regarding so much water that we're getting right now, and the creeks are really flowing.
So we'll get in contact with you next week. The answer is yes, we do have a plan, but we'll send you that information by email.
Okay, thank you.
I had a quick question for you, though. What's the deadline for your burger event?
April 4th,
April 4th?
either
Okay.
4th or 5th, one of the two. Started on the 4th, so I think it's the 4th or the 5th.
Okay, thank
But you can call the library, and it should be, I submitted it to the paper, so hopefully it'll, Mary Jones put it in our paper,
Okay,
and that'll be in information. And then
Thank
it's
you.
at the theater, and then we have it on the, what is it, the little sign that you're coming in?
right,
town.
little marquee.
Yeah, the marquee
Okay.
should be there.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other citizens like to talk?
Good evening, Council. My name is Abel Arevalo. I'm with the California Health Collaborative with the Unidos por Salud Division. We've been tasked with reducing tobacco-related health disparities as well as improving health equity for everyone throughout the Central Valley. We've been in the community since 2018, providing free education and partnerships with multiple different communities, local law enforcement, city officials, retailers, and residents. Within the last few years, we conducted a survey with local Coalinga residents that it illustrated that 82% of participants that were in our survey had health concerns, concerns about the impact of secondhand smoke on their lives and in their homes, because 100% of said participants in our survey were renting an apartment in Coalinga.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jennifer Acidada. Just to kind of follow up with that, we just wanted to come here and let you all know essentially about the efforts that we've been doing so far. We do have packets. It's nothing official, but if you do want some information, a lot of that also incorporates the state law that recently passed, which was SB 793 or Prop 31. So we do have information for retailers if they need assistance with that in regards to, not being able to sell flavored tobacco products anymore. So we have information on how they can dispose of it, or how they can work with the local health department or even ourselves just to kind of answer any questions. So if you all are interested, we'd love to leave these packets behind. And if you all have any questions for us, you can always reach out. I did also want to say, unfortunately, our program won't be in the county anymore through the end of April 30th, but we are still around. We still want to be able to provide information and education, especially we know a lot of schools have been having issues with electronic cigarettes. So we're happy to continue doing that for you, even though we aren't per se in the community anymore. We want to make sure that we're providing the education and resources that you all need. So just wanted to leave that behind and make sure that you know that you can reach out to our organization at any point, and we're happy to connect you with whatever it is that you need.
Is there any way that we can get some information here, so that way we can maybe put it on our website and send it out too?
Yes, yeah. So we do have the packets. We do have everything digital as well. So if that's easier to do so that you kind of have it and can share it as you need it, we're happy to send that out as well.
Okay, thank you, thank you.
Good.
You can leave it with the clerk.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other citizens? Okay, we'll go ahead and move on to number 4, public hearings. Consideration, we have one item. Consideration of a zoning text amendment, ZTA 23-1, and further introducing, waiving the first reading of ordinance number 858, updating the temporary uses section of the planning and zoning code in order to permit fairs, carnivals, and festivals in residentially zoned districts on parcels no smaller than 20 acres. Sean?
All right, thank you.
Mayor, can I ask a question to the city attorney real quick? Is this specific to an area that I wouldn't be able to vote on, or is this a general area where I could vote?
This one's gonna be citywide, right, Sean?
It would affect any parcels that are 20 acres or small or larger in the city. So obviously there's probably multiple locations in town that could be affected by it.
But if a council member lives within that area and it could affect the value of their homes, are we all required, if we live within that 500,000 feet nexus required to recuse ourselves, or no?
On the, on the 500, you're asking basically whether if you live within 500 feet of one of these parcels?
Correct.
Do you? Do you know that?
I think I might. That's why I've been recusing myself.
Yeah, I mean, you.
So I'm
you
gonna have to
should.
recuse myself from this.
Have we measured?
I haven't measured, but I'll be on the safe side.
Okay.
So do I need to go to the back room while the public hearing happens then?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I'm recusing myself.
Do you want us to measure for future?
Yeah, but I mean, it doesn't have to happen right this second.
Okay. Yeah, no, we'll make sure that happens after this meeting.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you, Mayor and Council. So City Council, this is a consideration of a zoning text amendment, updating the temporary use section of the Planning and Zoning Code. Back in January, the City Council directed staff to update the temporary uses section of the Planning and Zoning Code to allow fairs and festivals to be permitted as temporary uses in residentially zoned properties in order to accommodate the location of the annual Horned-Toad Derby for 2023. On February 16th, 2023, staff presented draft language to the City Council for consideration, and the Council authorized the initiation of the zoning text amendment to make appropriate changes to the code. And then staff prepared an ordinance for the Planning Commission where a public hearing was conducted on March 14th, and the Planning Commission considered the draft ordinance and adopted resolution number 023P-002 recommending approval to the City Council at this evening's meeting. Section 9-5.126 of the Planning and Zoning Code regulates temporary uses such as carnivals, fairs, and festival events within the city. Currently, the city permits carnivals, fairs, and festival events that are in connection with existing commercial uses or in conjunction with an activity of a civic organization, church, lodge, public or private school, or such group or organization with established standards such as hours of operation, location, time limits, parking, and duration. The proposed changes request by the City Council was to amend the temporary use activities to be permitted not only in residentially zoned districts, but on parcels no smaller than 20 acres. So included in the ordinance are additional regulations related to hours of operation and parking as well. And then a copy of Ordinance 858 is attached to the report for your review. Other than that, that's pretty much the update on the regulations. So if the council has any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them at this time.
How many lots around Coalinga is that going to include? 2, 3?
Not too many. 1, 2, maybe 3 or 4 or 5.
And everything's pretty much on the outskirts, correct?
The school farm, the property on Merced, couple properties on Merced actually, and then the Griffin property where they're
Right.
looking to do the Derby. I think that's probably it.
And if the landowners were to actually go and sell it, would they have to rezone it again?
No, this is for temporary uses. So the property owners, unless they're actually affiliated with, or unless it's a civic organization, or an existing commercial parcel. If it's commercial, then it's a little bit different. But if it's but it has to be affiliated with basically like kind of a nonprofit organization for for these larger events like this.
Okay. So it'll still be a permit. Each time you would still need a permit
Yeah, and
to
they
be
still
able
would
to
need to
use.
submit for a temporary use permit, so it still gets circulated through the fire department, police department. So if there are any major, like, immediate safety concerns, these are usually short-term events, so they're 3-4 days, and they're permitted usually 4 times a year.
All right.
So Mayor, at this time, this is a public hearing, so you will need to open the public hearing.
Yes. Okay, are there any citizens would like to talk about this item? Seeing none, what about council? Yeah, I think they're. Okay, we'll go ahead and close the public hearing. Okay, do I have a motion from council to approve?
I'll make the motion to approve.
I'll second it.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Atkinson,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Ramirez,
Aye.
Councilman Hedgecock,
Aye.
Mayor Horn.
And I vote aye. Okay, next, we're gonna move on to consent calendar. We have 11 items. Are there anything you guys would like to talk about, pull, table?
I'd like to talk about, pull to vote on separately, number 8, and 5.9 as well.
Any other items?
5.11.
Good. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to item number 5.8. Councilman Vosberg.
I just wanted to have it voted on separately.
Okay, do we have a motion to approve item number 5.8?
I'll make the motion to approve. Oh, you're going.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Can we get a roll call, please?
Councilman Vosberg. I'm sorry. Councilman Atkinson,
Yes.
Councilman Hedgecock,
Aye.
Councilman Vosberg,
No.
Mayor Pro Tem Ramirez,
Aye.
Mayor Horn.
And I vote aye. Okay, we'll move on to item number 5.9. Councilman Vosberg.
Yeah, so every time we have a rejection for claim for damages, I always like to hear the information, and for the public, just so that the person that brought this forward understands that council is listening, regardless of whether we approve or deny the claims.
So the city received a claim filed by Mr. Trevino. It is attached to the staff report, and that was received on February 9th. The claim was sent to George Hills Company for review. That is our insurance carrier. After review and investigation of the claim, it was determined that the city's public works received calls from residents for backups in the Harvard and University alleys, but checked the city's main line and the main was running fine. The investigation revealed that the claimant's backup issues resulted from a blockage in their sewer lateral, and per Resolution 3961, which is an adopted policy regarding ownership responsibility for sewer laterals, the homeowner is responsible for their lateral all the way up to the point of connection to the city's main line.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions to that item? Okay, go ahead and move on to item number 5.11. Councilman Ramirez.
Yeah, and I know I see the code enforcement activity. The only thing that I want to address is that I don't see those two burnt houses. We're gonna put
Microphone, please. Manny?
I thought I pushed it.
So he was referring to the burned houses, so that wouldn't be on our code enforcement officer's report. We could ask fire to include that when they do their fire monthly report.
And you guys already have public notice up, correct, on all the available properties that are burnt?
There's been a total of 7 notices issued in the last 30 days. They have 30 days to respond, and if they show any type of improvement that they're going to repair or fix things, then the notice is null and void, and we would have to wait again till they stopped working to issue another notice. And we received confirmation from 4 of the properties that they're going to begin working on repairing their property. So the other 2 properties still have about 3 weeks left to reply.
Is it possible we can get a report on our next meeting on the 6th?
I will
please?
do that for you.
All right, thank you. Any other questions on this item? No? Okay, we have a motion to approve consent calendar.
I'll make the motion to approve the consent calendar.
We have a second. -8, minus item number 8.
I'll second it.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Vosberg,
Aye.
Councilman Hedgecock,
Aye.
Councilman Atkinson,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Ramirez,
Aye.
Mayor Horn.
And I vote aye. Okay, next item is 6, ordinance presentation, discussion, and potential action items. We have 2 items. The first one is, actually, we have one. Number 2 was tabled. So the first discussion is discussion, direction, and potential action regarding council rules and procedures. Marissa.
Thank you. So at a previous council meeting, you had asked to update the code of conduct, and I was directed to clean up the language, and then council members could provide input on changes they would like to see. So I've incorporated those into the code of conduct. If there is no name attached at the end of the change, it's just because it was a cleanup change that I made. And then if it has a name at the end, then it reflects the council person who requested that change. My document's not loading, but as soon as it does, I can start going over the changes for you.
A little slow right now.
So the first section of the council's rules of procedure, which we commonly refer to as the code of conduct, refers to the decorum of city council members. And then it states council members shall, and it has items A through KK now as far as it goes. So most of it was cleanup language. There are 4 additional items that were added. One was submitted by Mayor Horn that states council members shall not use cellular telephones during council meetings and turn them off. Another was just a cleanup language. I'm regularly asked how many council meetings a council member is able to miss. So we have an ordinance on that, and so I added it to this section here just so everybody knows where to find it, where it refers to 4 consecutive meetings. The next item was requested by Councilman Vosberg, which states that council members may present video or present via audio, visual presentation, or other means of communications any agenda item requested to be placed on the agenda by that council member. And then also that they shall disclose conflicts of interest, and then it outlines what's required to do so. And that's for that first section, which refers to the decorum of city council members. Is there anything there that anyone would like to discuss?
Has all of council had a chance to read it all?
I would like to table it and have each council member add their input and then get a rough draft for them, put it in there, and then vote on a single thing. I know sometimes our phones now are basically computers. Sometimes if our things are not working, I know I've used mine to upload the agenda, but I think there's some that I think that in my opinion, I would love each of us to put their input to kind of, brainstorm and then come with the solid one.
So are you saying that you would like to just give it some more time? Table it to a different meeting, give it more time so we can iron out some of the things?
Yeah, we've got plenty of time. We can reword this and do whichever we want. The only reason I put the item on here for the cell phones is because it's just an added distraction. We have the phone here, and then they have access to phones anyway, so we can at least deal with the citizens. I know the laptops are still a little bit of an issue, but there's not much we can do. We have to be able to take our notes and see exactly what we're doing on our items. Other than that, it's just to get rid of a distraction. With it going off, ringers, we've even the citizens, we've all had our phones on at one time, and it either vibrates or goes off.
So, Mr. Mayor, are you going to entertain a motion to table, or do you want to discuss these?
No, so we can finish discussing. Yeah, we can table it so we can finish discussion, modify some more words if we need to. Are we able to do that?
Going to make the motion?
Yeah, you can certainly table it and provide additional comments to myself or Marissa. And then if you have discussions in between yourselves, just make sure it's not a quorum of
Right.
more than two of you.
Okay.
I'd like to make a motion to table this item for further groundwork.
I'll second.
Do we need a roll call? Before you do, when do you want to bring it back? The following meeting or 2 meetings? Give us another month
About
to
two
work on it.
meetings. 2 meetings.
So that would be the 6th, April 20th? Okay. Roll call, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Ramirez,
Aye.
Councilman Vosberg,
Aye.
Councilman Hedgecock,
Aye.
Councilman Atkinson,
Aye.
Mayor Horn.
And I vote aye. Okay, next, we have announcements, city manager's announcements.
I just want to prepare everyone that at the next couple of meetings through the end of the fiscal year is when we start bringing you all the budget presentations. And I know that's everyone's favorite time of year, so I just wanted to give you advance notice.
Okay, council members' announcements or reports?
I have an announcement. I will be resigning the first week of June, and as a future agenda item, we need to discuss if we want to appoint someone for my position or if we want to send it to an election. And I'll talk more about it later, but it's my intent to resign in the first week of June, or the second week of June, possibly.
I was just wondering if, so my announcement would actually come from staff to just inform the public on the watering, what we did tonight on the consent calendar, since the item wasn't pulled, and that way the public that's listening can understand. If maybe Sean could just give an update on that.
Yeah, so with the action tonight, essentially the city is back to normal, I guess you'd say. So the way that the stage 1 watering restrictions are is basically there's no days of the week watering restrictions. There's just the times of the day. So between 10 and 6, or I'll have to look at my notes. Hold on a second. I think it's 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. There's no watering, outdoor watering, but the restrictions, essentially the proclamation's been repealed, so there's no longer the water emergency on the record. The pool moratorium has gone away, so pool permits are able to be issued. And then the outdoor watering restrictions have gone away in terms of not being able to water your front lawn, those types of things. So essentially we're back to normal in terms of our watering restrictions, so we're currently operating under stage 1. Also, what's kind of been rolled back is the penalties. So the penalties have been rolled back to what's in the current code. So the increased penalties during the drought emergency that were in the resolution are no longer in place. So essentially now we're back to the the normal, the fees, the normal penalties for wasting water or watering during the wrong times of the day.
And that ends as of tonight, and no more fines as of tomorrow, correct?
Well, there's
Or
still,
is it gonna
there's
be to
still-
the end of the month?
There's still fines, just not for for the restrictions that were in place prior. So if you're watering between 10 and 6 p.m. in the middle of the day, you could potentially get a warning and then a fine related to that type of watering. And then also if water is going down the gutters and traveling down, wasting water, we're still going to be addressing wasting water.
And residents still need a permit to drain their swimming pools, correct?
Yes, there's still
Because of the
in
contamination.
place. So if you plan to drain, you just need to advise the city manager's office, and just so we're aware, because it generates a lot of calls. So we like to usually know ahead of time that folks are draining their pools. And we'll have everything updated on the website, as well as the app that we have as well. So we'll have all the information updated on there as well.
I just like, I want the city, I know the weeds are getting, out of control. I want to make sure that we as a city, we don't pressure the residents, or cite them, or kind of give them, sometimes, a lot of elderly people, they get scared that, they see a paper from the city and they think they're gonna find them or something like that. It's not their fault, their weeds, I'm talking about this time frame from the rains and all that. I just don't want the city to kind of pressure, don't want to see the city pressure the citizens. I know it looks bad, but these weeds and, came with a vengeance. And it's not their fault because not only the state did this, and now we're gonna pressure them into give them a citation because if they don't cut their weeds, because they used to have grass and now they have weeds. So I like to just see, an awareness and see if they can, and not, okay, you didn't cut it in 2 weeks, I'm gonna cite you. I would love to see that from the city, not to kind of pressure that into the community, because we do have a lot of elderly and we do have a lot of people disabled, and some of these weeds are very, very tough to get rid of, especially if you have to shovel them. Yeah.
At this time, I have no announcements myself, so we'll move on to the future agenda items. Are there any future agenda items?
Yes, just the one that I explained about the weeds in there.
I'd like to add in that too, the time limit to be able to resolve the situation, to see exactly how long they have, and if it's someone that's financially struggling, possibly extending it a little bit longer before they get a fine.
So we can bring that back as a future agenda item, and we'll talk about it more at that time, but there won't be separate rules for someone who is financially struggling, so whatever time limit you adjust it to would apply to everybody. And right now, the way it is just so the public knows, if you receive a violation notice and you have 15 days to correct it, you can always call and request an extension. I've never denied anyone's extension. So generally, you can get an additional 30 days.
Okay, next we have one closed session item. With that being said, the meeting is now adjourned until April 6th, 2023, 6 p.m.